Welcome. I'm Sandy with Sandy Zimmerman's Las Vegas TV streaming. And my guest is Kevin Stone, Hollywood hypnotist. Welcome.
Hi, Sandy. How are you? Man, you are looking amazingly beautiful today. Look at you.
Thank you. That's so nice. Well, now, Hollywood hypnotist. Now, what about the other places? Just Hollywood?
That's a great question, Sandy. I didn't even name myself the Hollywood hypnotist. That came from a television show who kind of dubbed me the Hollywood hypnotist because they had heard about all of my celebrity work in therapy, helping people stop smoking, losing weight, get off addictions, that kind of thing. That was Access Hollywood dubbing me the Hollywood hypnotist. So it kind of stuck for the rest of my career. But no, I'm global. I'm global. The global.
I'm reading about you, and it wasn't just Hollywood.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere.
Are you on the stage? Usually hypnotist is on the stage. You do everything, but are you also on the stage?
Yeah, absolutely. I do the comedy stage hypnosis show, but I also have a private practice, a clinic over in Beverly Hills. That's where I do the hypnotherapy. So there's two sides to my business: the comedy stage entertaining side and the clinical hypnotherapy.
So you're two different people.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had to wake up today, look in the mirror to figure out who I was today.
Right. Where am I? Oh. Now, hypnotism is very important because you help people. All types of problems and all ages. So you do everything, not only entertain, but you do help people.
All the way down to 5 years of age, all the way up to 100 years old. So hypnotherapy is a natural, organic, natural resource that if we tap into and we understand the power behind it, we can utilize it to help ourselves.
And you have helped some celebrities. Who were they?
I have. The list, is endless, and I forget who they are, but most of them you can see because as far as I'm concerned, Sandy, we're all the same. Celebrities, myself, yourself, who's been around a very long time. I know a lot about you, Sandy.
Oh, really?
I'm so honored to be here today, by the way, because I've watched your programs. I've watched your premieres. We have a lot of friends in common in Las Vegas, Lance Burton, and the list goes on. And you've been doing this a long time, and you're amazing. Right. And you're part of the component, the cog of the wheel, so to speak, to continue to express to people what this stuff is really about, and that's who you are, and who I am. And so, yeah, that's what I do. I help people with the applications of hypnosis to improve their lifestyles. That's what my passion, that's what my goals have always been in life.
Yeah, their health, their life, all different ways of helping them.
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of the tools that people don't realize or understand, because what they see in the movies or in television, and it's kind of an irony, because if you look behind me, I have original posters from the great Jester, who is here. That's an 1800s poster, and then the two behind me, those are world famous movie posters that came out in the 60s and 50s. And, the media and everyone likes to sensationalize hypnosis about what it is. And, it's this hypnotist who shows up with, pocket watch. If you notice, I didn't bring my pocket watch today, and the hypno disc and all of these things that we're flooded with, even in current movies, about what hypnosis is. And it's not that at all. It's a natural, organic resource that if we really understand it and we understand the applications of how it works, and you find a good hypnotist like myself who's board certified, you can learn this and actually start changing your life in many, many different ways. And that's what I did for myself as well.
Yeah, you said board certified. You also have a master's degree in hypnotism.
Correct. Yeah,
that's very unusual. Master's degree in hypnotism.
I've accomplished all of the goals academically in the hypnotic world. I continue to teach and show people, and I continue to strive for that, to educate people, uplift, and inspire about this application, because you see, in life, all behavior is learned behavior, and we don't realize that. So if it's learned, right, we can unlearn it. But how do we do that? We're not taught. Well, hypnosis is one of those tools that can help you to unlearn your negative behavior to achieve your highest potential.
Right. Can you hypnotize somebody on the phone? Your voice could do it. You don't have to be looking at them.
Correct. It's so funny that, in the last couple of interviews I've done this week are exclusively to that. So I don't know if that's the new trend of what's happening out there, but I just did an interview at the Los Angeles Times, very specific to that question, Sandy, where there's phone scammers going around, and they're actually hypnotizing people to go out and get gift cards and send them the gift cards. And this is how they're doing the transactions. And this one lady got scammed for about $3,000 in gift cards. And the LA Times, well, most of the newspapers around the world and locally contact me because they know I'm that guy. So I'm the one who consults and pretty much gives them the insight as to how this stuff works. So does it work over the phone? Absolutely, positively. I don't need to look you in the eyes like in the movies. I don't need to get the watch out. All of these things are nonsense. This is not how hypnosis works. Hypnosis works with words. And believe it or not, Sandy, you are also a hypnotist. You've been doing what you're doing for a long time, and very successfully. And you have a program that people tune into. Why do they tune in? Because they're being lulled, they're being hypnotized, so to speak, because of what you're producing, what you're putting out, which is quality, positive, informative programming.
Well, it's I don't hypnotize them. They like the subjects.
Actually, it's because they're suggestible, and that's why they're doing that. Because you see, suggestibility is around us all day long, Sandy. This is what commercials use. Advertisers understand the power behind it. Politicians understand the power behind it. Entertainers understand the power behind it. You see, we're all doing it in a natural form. And when you refine it or learn it like me, I went to college for this. This is what I went to school for, and I actually got the degree for it. And so once you learn it and understand it, you can really harness it. And then, if you're like me, help people to help themselves with it.
So when you went to college, were you thinking of the stage or of a clinical type of hypnosis? Yeah,
the school I went to was strictly clinical. Oh. They wanted nothing to do with stage hypnosis and all of these things that come along with hypnosis. So they taught the clinical hypnotherapy, and was the basic concepts of hypnosis, so how to hypnotize. And then, of course, gradually you graduate, hopefully open up a private practice, which I did. I focused on smoking and weight. But no, they wanted nothing to do with the entertainment side of hypnosis or anything. We never even covered anything to do with that. Which was very interesting as to how I ended up becoming the entertainer and the Hollywood hypnotist guy, right? Because the irony is kind of crazy. But I'll tell you that story if you want to hear it, as to how my transition because when I graduated from the college, I was like anyone else. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I want to open up a private practice. What do I do? So I did that, and I opened up a small practice over in the Valley in California. And I thought, okay, I'm a serious clinician now. I graduated from college, and I'm going to make a go of this, put up my shingle, and do it. Well, I did, and my work started to become well known because of my success. And back then, I was focusing on what most people who graduate from hypnosis school is smoking, weight, and stress management. And so my work the name started to get out, and a lot of the celebrity clientele, because obviously I live in Los Angeles, started to hear about my work, and they wanted to come to me, et cetera, et cetera. Well, long story short, I get a phone call one day from a really, really famous producer who lived in the Hollywood Hills, and he was having a party. And he called me up, and he had heard about me through another patient that I had, a celebrity patient, and they were going to be at this party, and they wanted some entertainment. And I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do, and probably this name a lot of people probably long forgotten, but she is an amazing woman, and that's Pat Collins, the hypnotist.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes. And so she was pretty hot around that time. That was the 80s, and this is what this Hollywood producer wanted to do, because they were friends at one point, and he wanted to have this kind of a party with hypnosis. So he calls me, and he goes, can you come and do some comedy stuff like Pat Collins at my little party here? And I said, no, I'm a serious clinician, and I refuse to do anything outside of the clinical work of hypnosis. Well, as you grow older, Sandy, you become smarter, and you get more wisdom. And but back then, I kept saying no, and he kept being persistent about it. And he said, no, I want you. So finally, his final take at trying to get me at his party was, he said, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop calling you. I'm going to send a courier down to your office with a blank check. You fill in the check with the amount of what you think you're worth for the evening, and you can come to the party and do some fun stuff with my guests. Well, what do you think I did, Sandy? I immediately filled out that check, and I showed up at 9 p.m. And that started my stage entertainment side of who I am and what I've become known for in the entire universe.
Yeah. Well, I was reading that you're called the sexiest hypnotist.
Wow.
That's what it says.
Yeah, it sure did. I think either the Los Angeles Times or some magazine, world famous magazine. Now that's going back a couple of years, but I'll still take it. I'll take it, Sandy.
Well, it's fun when you could switch over something serious where you're helping people, and then you could switch over to something fun and people are enjoying. And
absolutely.
Happiness today after all the COVID and everything. And so I think that's great.
Absolutely. And it breaks it up. And, I've been doing this for 26 years now. Yeah. And so it completes the balance. Because, I spend a lot of time at the clinic, and, when I go out and do corporate events or major stage shows or even shows in Las Vegas, it breaks up the monotony, and it gives me the balance. And I started realizing from that first event up in the Hollywood Hills, the power behind actually demonstrating a great quality hypnotic show like the world famous Pat Collins or Orman McGill or some of the people that I admire, who I stand on the shoulders of these giants. Mm-hmm. And started realizing the impact of people being there and actually participating in a fun environment. So what I've done over the years is I've put together an educational type of a show that's still a comedy stage hypnosis show, like my good friend Mark Savard, who does his shows in Vegas, and a couple other hypnotists who are doing shows in Vegas. Not currently, and I'm not even sure if their shows are coming back, but they've been there for a long time. And Mark Savard, who's over on the Strip, he's been there for a good 10 years. And he's got the same concept and the same ideas about me, where my show is not only fun, interactive, and you're having a good time and you're laughing, but at the same time, if you really pay attention, there's an educational platform that if you really understand what's happening, you get to learn a lot about the powers of the mind and how the stuff really works.
Yeah. Now, with all the things that you do, either entertainment or helping people, which do you like best?
You know, I love them both because I'm so passionate about what I do. It doesn't matter how I'm doing it. So either I'm doing a lecture, because I can do lectures, and I do a lot of the lectures for corporate functions, 500 companies, that kind of thing, where I'm doing sales techniques and empowering them to understand that. Or I'm doing the comedy stage show, or I'm doing the clinical hypnotherapy. It doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm out there educating people on this natural organic resource and the applications of how they can utilize it in their life, that's my ultimate goal. And that's the legacy for me, because this actually changed my life as well. You know, I was on the other side of the fence of this as well, just like anyone else. I come from a small community in New England. I've been in California now for over 30 years, so I'm considered a native. But I was brought up in a very conservative environment, and the religion was Catholic. And so this stuff, when I really got into it and decided to go to college for it, was no. My family, everyone was, no, you're playing with the devil's work and all of this stuff. And, you know, I still hear these things to this day, not from my family, but, you know, when people think about the word hypnosis, it conjures up that negativity.
Right.
So, you know, when I decided to do this, I was a skeptic as well. I was a cynic, just like a lot of people probably watching this program. And that's okay, because we should all approach things with that kind of a mindset, but not continuously be there. Make some choices as to how you feel about it. I started changing my life. And the first thing that I did, because I was a older man at the time, I was in my 30s, and I was still biting my nails. And I thought, how embarrassing is this for a 30-year-old man to be biting his nails? And so that was the first thing that I changed. Second thing that I changed was, I'm a very shy, introverted guy. And in high school, college, I was that guy. And I couldn't even get up. I couldn't even have this kind of a conversation, this kind of an interview, Sandy. It was too much for me. I'm that introverted, that shy. And now I'm up in front of 20,000, 30,000 people performing, doing hypnosis shows, having these kind of conversations. Why? Because of the applications of hypnosis. Now it changed my life.
Right. Well, some people who want to be entertainers, they practice and practice when they're young. They know, I want to be a magician, or I want to be whatever it is, and they start. But you did it the other way.
It was backwards. I went backwards. But it was all God's plan. All of it is God's plan and the way it's supposed to be. That's what I've resolved to after all these years.
Yeah, I believe in fate. Fate happens.
Absolutely. Positively.
Now, when a hypnotist is on the stage, I notice they pat on the shoulder or the head. Is that a reason?
Yeah, it is. It gives reinforcement to the suggestion as being given. So it creates the anchor. We call it an anchor in our business, where if I give you the suggestion and then I tap you or I touch you in your forehead or however I do it, that gives the anchor that settles it into the subconscious mind. So therefore your mind is going to accept it immediately.
Yeah. Does somebody know that they're hypnotized?
Yes. Everyone experiences something different. However, you know when you're hypnotized, and most people come up with the scenario of, you know how sometimes, Sandy, when you wake up in the morning, it's a chilly Las Vegas morning, and you just don't want to get out of bed, right? And you're there, and you're still in that slumber, awake kind of a zone, and you've got the covers on, and you're feeling good. That's the kind of feeling that most people come up with after they get hypnotized. At the same time, if you really pay attention, there's an educational platform that if you really understand what's happening, you get to learn a lot about the powers of the mind and how the stuff really works.
Yeah. Now, with all the things that you do, either entertainment or helping people, which do you like best?
You know, I love them both. Because I'm so passionate about what I do, it doesn't matter how I'm doing it. So either I'm doing a lecture, because I can do lectures, and I do a lot of the lectures for corporate functions, 500 companies, that kind of thing, where I'm doing sales techniques and empowering them to understand that. Or I'm doing the comedy stage show, or I'm doing the clinical hypnotherapy. It doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm out there educating people on this natural organic resource and the applications of how they can utilize it in their life, that's my ultimate goal. For the next 7 days, the programming will be free. All you have to do is go to the website, hypnotist.com, email me, put in the subject header of the email, Sandy Zimmerman, TV program. Tell us what you thought about the program. Don't tell us what you thought about the program, but tell us you want to take advantage of the free opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you and send you a download of self-hypnosis, how to do self-hypnosis, get in self-hypnosis, get out of self-hypnosis, use the programming for your benefit as long as you want, free because of Sandy Zimmerman and this program.
Free.
$150 programming system for free because of you.
Oh, because of me. That's so sweet.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed meeting you and discussing everything with you. And I hope that they look at the website because it's very interesting. I enjoy it. And I'm Sandy with Sandy Zimmerman's Las Vegas TV, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.